Target broke a story on wheel clamping that questioned the legality of it. We asked whether or not you could legally remove a clamp. Target was criticised for publicising this, but the views aired in our program were upheld by the Broadcasting Standards Authority. Tonight we meet Glenn Vickery, the man who took the clampers on and won, and Marie Gonzalez, both of whom were clamped in a car park belonging to the stores they were shopping in.
They just clamp your car and then take your money. It's like a robbery.
So how do they get away with it? Well, here's how it works. As long as they're displaying a sign like this that lets you know they're here, you are legally consenting to having your car clamped when you park here. And because there are no regulations governing car park owners or clampers, some of the most vulnerable people are falling prey to their sometimes underhand tactics. Here's what's been happening in one Manurewa private car park. It was a sunny Tuesday morning back in March, and Marie and her husband were off to do the weekly food shop at DH Supermarket. They parked the car in the supermarket's car park and went to get takeaways for breakfast. They had to do this because Marie has a stomach ulcer.
I need to eat something or else I will vomit the whole afternoon.
They took their takeaways and went into DH to do their weekly shop. 10 minutes later, they came out to discover they'd been clamped.
I have no idea that they were sitting there, unmarked car, not wearing any uniform, like sniper, waiting for their target to clamp their car and then take your money.
Bewildered as to why she'd been clamped while shopping at the supermarket who contract the clampers, she went back inside with her receipt.
They didn't help us. They didn't even bother to tell them that release them because they are our regular customers. They just handed their phone to us. And then that's it.
A few minutes later, the clamper appeared beside her car.
The guy came out and said, "Are you going to pay this?" And I said, "No, because we are the customers from DH." And he said, "No, I'm not going to unclamp your car. You have to pay $180.
She pleaded with the clampers, but they weren't having any of it. They told her, "Pay us $180 in the next 90 minutes, or we'll charge you an extra $250 to tow your car away." That really made Marie panic because she didn't have any money in her bank account.
Where on earth are we going to get that $180? Me and my husband is just in a minimum wage, and I have 4 kids, and I don't have $180 right away.
Time was running out, so Marie took the train to her mother-in-law's and borrowed $100. She made it back to the supermarket just in time. The clampers took the $100 but told her to pay the rest by phone or risk debt collectors. She was so upset she got on the phone to seek help.
I called the police. They said it's not an emergency. I called common law. They said we can't do anything about it. And I called Target, and then they say only one who helped me. They reply me right away.
Earlier we heard how Marie and her husband were clamped in a car park owned by the supermarket they were shopping in. Why on earth would a supermarket allow their own customers to be clamped? We took Marie back to DH Supermarket to confront the clampers.
Really sorry. You've left the car park.
Hang on.
Okay.
But we didn't stay there. We didn't stay there for long.
So you just parked here, went outside, grabbed something to eat, then came back and shopped, right?
Just a split of minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where you're wrong, man.
We only bought
I'll
few
explain
things.
to you, all right?
Hang on.
The car. Okay, no, listen to me.
Come on, listen to me.
Listen to me, all right?
Needless to say, Marie didn't get anywhere with the clampers, but what did happen was several other shoppers came forward to say that they too had been clamped at DH Supermarket and weren't happy about it either.
I've been clamped twice and I'm not paying them nothing. Why? Because I have no money. I have no money to pay them.
My uncle, he was clamped here. He paid, he is a poor man. He paid $250 just for nothing.
I truly believe it's a major problem in South Auckland. You know, these companies are targeting the most vulnerable. These are poor communities. They're often communities with high numbers of people who are English as a second language, who really can't read the signs. They're telling us that they're experiencing bully boy tactics. They're putting huge pressure on people to pay up. And very often these people are vulnerable. They don't have enough money to pay the rent in many cases.
The man in charge of DH Supermarket is Jeff Wu. He says the reason they employ the clampers is to protect the car park at night because there's been a murder in this alleyway and regular fights break out across the road.
I will try to
solve the problem and talk to the manager of the camping company. Yeah.
Jeff's solution is to see if the clampers will just police the car park at night. But until that happens, what can shoppers do? Well, they could take the clampers to the disputes tribunal. That's what Glenn Vickery did. He too was clamped here while getting takeaways. The tribunal ruled the New Zealand wheel clamping company had illegally clamped Glenn's car because they refused to reveal the terms of the contract they have with the people who own the car park. And that the signs were unclear. What is an unauthorised vehicle, they asked. Surely if you're shopping here, your car is authorised. What it was, though, was a sweet victory for Glenn, who was awarded $550 in compensation, which the clampers have agreed to pay.
When I opened the letter from the tribunal, I actually had to read it twice. I was so excited and with the results. Fantastic. Not only for myself, but for the community and also for the country that we've got a win here. The reason why I took it to the courts is because I had no other option.
But not everybody has the time or money to take the clampers to the disputes tribunal. The AA says it's high time clamping companies had to abide by a code of conduct set out by the government.
Privately owned public car parking, there are no rules around minimum signage, there are no rules around the level of fine, and there are no rules around what discretion they can apply if someone asks to review that fine. And so really the companies that have a financial interest in obviously wanting to receive that fine's money rule on whether that fine is valid. That's completely wrong. The cards are stacked against the customers.
The New Zealand wheel clamping company turned down our offer of an interview because,
unfortunately, or fortunately for him, our representative and director, Mr. Gordon Ward, is on pre-planned annual leave.
Happy holidays, Gordon. Unfortunately for you, we've still got a lot of questions. How do you justify the charges? And why the 90-minute time pressure to come up with the money? Are your clampers working on commission? Why do you operate out of unmarked vehicles? And most importantly, we'd like to know why your company is so prevalent in the less affluent parts of the country, where those people who are being caught out can least afford it. Shame on you, New Zealand wheel clamping company, for charging such outrageous fees. And shame on the New Zealand government for letting this situation continue year after year, no matter how many times Target does stories like this.